This is how I help a client purchase 3 investment properties, which are then rented out to his kids. So I call him the patriarch. So basically, he's the head of the family, he's the man of the house and the man of the whole family. And basically what he has done is, he has purchased 1, 2, and this is a recent deal, 3 properties for his kids. Now, the way he does it is very unique because he's an islander himself, and due to islander culture, it's very family, based, very strong family values. And he doesn't just buy the property for his kids, he actually buys the property in his own name, but then he gets his kid to live in it. So basically how it works is that these properties are all in his name, and what happens is he's got like a massive big family, and their kids have, their spouse and their kids. And what happens is their kids pay rent on his properties. Now, all the properties are in like New South Wales, so the rental yield is usually between 3 to 3.5%. So what he does is he gets them to pay rent around this yield. Now, obviously, this is all on paper for him to claim a tax deduction against his negative gearing when he does his taxes, because he's self-employed and earns decent income. But on top of that, which is underneath the table, he gets them to pay the difference for his mortgage repayments, which is $5,000 to $6,000 a month. And this is what the patriarch says to all the families that are living in his house or renting in his house. He goes, hey, if you pay the mortgage every month, the rent plus the difference for the mortgage repayments, I'll let you keep the property once the home loan goes down to 0. Now, I've been working with this client for the last 5 years, and he's been doing this over and over again. For example, his first property, he did it for 1 kid and their family, and then for the second kid, and then he's doing it for the 3rd kid, which is this property purchase. And mind you, for all these property that he has purchased, it all came from a cash out from his prime place of residence. He didn't put down $1 of his own money. He uses the bank's money to purchase all these investment properties. So what happens is every 2 years I help him refinance his existing property, which is PPOR, to a new bank. Before it was NAB, now we're going to a new bank. So his property is now valued at $1.6 million. His previous 1 and 2 investment properties, the loan went up to $728K, which is including the previous cash out. But his property has went up after 2 to 3 years, and now he has about $552,000 cash out. He then used the cash out to place a deposit, 10% deposit for a new duplex property in Yonora, which is valued at $1,075,000, which was purchased on April 2023. It settled last week, and I did get his permission to put this as a case study on my TikTok, but unfortunately he didn't want me to put any of his voice recordings on stuff that I usually do, so unfortunately I can't put that over here. Just in case you're thinking, why did it take 4 months to settle? It's because we were waiting for the duplex to get registered. And as you can see, the Yonora purchase, which he purchased for his kids to live in and rent out, was worth $1,075,000. 20% plus stamp duty is $268K. Remember, I got him $552,000 cash out. And for a lot of people who are short-sighted or amateurish investors, they're like, hey Q, you got him too much. Haha, when you can borrow, you should borrow. Well, what happens is, that funds of the difference, which is the amount of money that he spent on the 20% plus stamp duty, the remainder is $283. That sits in an offset account against his PPOR, which is sitting over here. And what do you think he's going to use these funds for? A first property. Now, to be transparent about this guy's income, he is earning between $950,000 to $1.2 million per year net, okay, after expenses. So if you're thinking you're on a POAG job, 120 to 150K, forget about it. You are not in his league, okay? He is the biggest importer-exporter for the Pacific Islands, in Australia and out of Australia, and through Tonga, Samoa, and all that stuff, right? So he's in that league. So therefore, he can afford all these loans. Now again, guys, this only works because he's very islander patriarch style, okay? So he's the head of the family, his kids listen to what he says, and also his kids, in terms of where they're at now, there's no way in hell they can purchase, there's $1.1 to $1.2 million properties, okay? So they like this style, they like the fact that they're paying rent and paying the difference so that they can one day own the property. And for the patriarch himself, he gets to claim a tax deduction against the rent being paid. The reason I'm sharing this is to show you the uniqueness of the islander culture. I actually work with a lot of islanders, and they're very lovely people to deal with. I also work with other races, but I'm just saying this is a very unique loan structure. This won't work for a Caucasian family, like some white boy family. No way in hell they'll do this. And it will certainly not work for Asian families, because Asian families like you to live with them for the rest of their life so they don't go to a retirement home. And for, Lebo families and Greek families, as you can see from the previous stories, it didn't work out, where the parents gifted their properties to their kids and then the kids start to hate each other. This only works because there's a patriarch in the middle of this whole unit, all right? He holds everything together. He directs where the family goes. So the question I want to ask you, if you watch this video thus far, is will your father, the patriarch, do this for you, my little Moana? Jump in the comments, let me know what you think.